Welcome to our first video presentation on the Oregon Trail. What we're going to do is through this series of 3 sets of videos is we're going to walk through different maps and spatial technology tools that we could use to create a animated project about a certain topic. And for what we're doing is I'm going to represent the Oregon Trail. So our first technology tool that we're going to use is Google Maps. What I've done here is I've already created my map presentation to demonstrate to you what it would look like. So we will talk about the Oregon Trail, and then later on I will show you in another video how to create something like this, and you'll be asked to do it in your own task with a different theme. So the Oregon Trail started all the way over here in St. Louis, Missouri area. As we can see, I got a little representation of hikers, and it went through different states. We have Kansas, a little bit of Nebraska, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and then finally to Oregon. What the objective was is that all the people from the east wanted new land, and it was free, so they wanted to travel in wagons with oxen and limited food and take whatever they had, drop everything, and move to Oregon. So what I did is created a path to show you, to represent that. Put 2 little hikers because some walked, some rode wagons. And then I have here some yellow pinpoints. Each pinpoint that is in yellow, specifically how I created it, talks about a different part of the state and how it is related to the Oregon Trail. For example, Colorado is a branch of the Oregon Trail crossed the very northeast corner of Colorado if they follow the South Platte River to one of its last crossings. This branch of the trail passed through present-day Julesburg before entering Wyoming. Later, settlers to much of what became known as the state of Colorado followed the Platte and the South Platte rivers into their settlements here. So what I did was get some information from Google, and it led me to Wikipedia, and then I just copied and pasted this information. Right now I'm not giving you enough time to read all this, but general view of how it works. So in Oregon, which we are at right now, and this how this pertains to us, is Oregon wants to cross the Snake River Ford near Old Fort Boise. The weary travelers traveled across what became the state of Oregon. The trail then went to the Mallow River and then past Farewell Bend to the Snake River, up the Burnt River Canyon, and northwest to the La Grande Valley before coming to the Blue Mountains. In 1843, settlers cut a wagon road over these mountains, making them passable for the first time to wagons. The trail went to the White Man Mission near Fort Nez Perce in Washington until 1847, when the Whitmans were killed by the Native Americans. Moving on down here, others continue west in their wagons until they reach the Dalles. This is where we're at right now, the Dalles. This pertains to us. It's amazing how we're a part of history. The chutes upon, let's see, Umatilla River, John Day River, and the Deschutes River before arriving in the Dalles. Interstate 84 in the Oregon roughly follows the Oregon Trail from Idaho to the Dalles. So every time you cross and go on Interstate 84, you'll think of the Oregon Trail. Another icon that I have created is this one that you can change icons to make them whatever you want, different colors, different shapes, different pictures. I picked this one about food because I found some food information from the Oregon Trail. So basically they had to carry things or take animals with them that they could kill along the way so they could eat. And lots of water. Some carried matches and watertight containers. Fire was Borrow from the neighbors for a case of starting. Cooking required simple cooking utensils such as the knives, the spoons. Some bought small stoves with them. Over here I have a symbol of a tool, and it represents the clothing and equipment used. You have to have certain clothes to use to make you comfortable because you're traveling a very long distance. And as far as equipment, it ranged from things you needed like a mattress or a pillow or actual tools, Bibles, scissors, pens, needles, anything that will help you along with your journey. And then since didn't have a picture of a wagon, I kind of used a little car. A wagon was a big part of the Oregon Trail because that was most of them used to get from one place to the other. It was approximately half the size of a larger Conestoga, weighed about 1,300 pounds when it was empty, and with about 2,500 capacity. That's a heavy load. Then here on the little cameras, I just picked out some pictures that was related to the Oregon Trail. You can see some horses here, some teepees with the Indians. We got a little campfire going on there, some tents being pitched for settling, taking a rest stop. Here's a picture of a wagon with a campfire. And here we have the actual map. We zoomed in a little there, so this is the trail of the actual map, which we kind of already did, representing the path that I created. The Oregon Trail is a fascinating trail that many settlers used a long time ago to find Oregon and find free land, and that's what they needed to do to start a new life. It's an amazing and great topic to use a search or technology tools such as Google Maps to represent this. The main elements we're getting here from this representation in this lecture is the start and the beginning states that the settlers took, some of the different elements that were needed when going on the journey, the food that they had, the equipment and clothing, and their actual transportation of the wagon. Then we have some little information about each state as they went there. And then we have some pictures of the journey, which it represents what some of them did and what some of them went through. Our objective now is we're going to take a little mini quiz on trying to identify at least 3 or 4 of the states that the settlers went through. 1 food item, 1 equipment and clothing item, what means of transportation they used, and a little detail, at least 1 or 2 sentences about the states that you chose that they went through, something how it pertains and relates to the Oregon Trail. What did the settlers do in those particular states? So I'm going to give you a little chance to review this on your own, and then we'll get started.